Namaste! Grand Rising, Big Cat. Welcome, or welcome back to Frequency Phoenix 555 for your message or messages. Come in! Come on! I've got intel. Recon is afoot. Energies. Up, Big Cat. I insist. May your comings and goings be forever covered by the grace of the Most High. When in doubt, go within. Did I get your attention with the title, darling dears? They are simply not like us. They are about their life doing what wickedness to those that are unaware that wicked people are out there, darling dears. They think that because they come in the suit of a family, long-time friend, partner, husband, wife, son, daughter, that they should be like you and I. No! Skullduggery is their middle name, darling dears. Let's dive in and unpack. Okay. You have the energy of a 5, excusez-moi s'il vous plaît. We shall unpack that in a hot minute. But where you are, where your head is right now, darling dears, lean in, bestie. Can you see? You're on the energy of the 6. This is a northwesterly direction. You may live in the northwest, or you're going to expect some kind of intel coming towards you at a hot trot from the northwest. The energy of the 6 speaks about family, darling dears. You are family or community orientated. According to the Loshu grid, darling dears, the energy of the 6 speaks about helpful people coming into your life. People that are soul tribe, darling dears. Some will be just for a moment in time, others for a lifetime. But remember, someone is being sent to help you along your path. Why? Because they ain't like us that are out there, darling dears. Sometimes you need a little guidance. It also speaks about travel, darling dears. As I said, the northwesterly direction. Someone may be traveling towards the north. This will be around late autumn, darling dears. Late autumn time. It's also about your spiritual life, darling dears. You're taking a more healthy, more learned look at your spiritual life and practices, darling dears. Ooh, I love it. I don't hate it. Let's drop down and get our eagle on. You have the energy of a 1. It speaks about you having to make a major decision, darling dears, in the not too distant future. The energy of the 1 is a reminder from the Most High not to make this major decision or choice until after the next new moon, which will be on the 6th of June in Gemini, darling dears. I've already put out a comprehensive reading about it, how it's going to affect your sun, moon, and rising sign. Okay. You also have the energy of the 4, darling dears. The 4 speaks about communication of all forms, darling dears, whether you need to get in touch with people or people are trying to get in touch with you. The 4 also says something new or someone new will be coming into your life. Yes, it speaks about an affair, darling dears, an affair of the heart. Good golly gosh, I heard screaming, a baby crying, a cat hissing. Ooh, child, what's up, bestie? Didn't like the last rodeo, eh? Did it blow your hairline back into a full-on friar tuck? Listen, I'm not a what? Picker. I'm a pointer. It happened to me too, darling dears. I was what? Without a full hairline for 50 years. That's half of 100, right? Yeah. Anyhow, let's carry on, darling dears. You have the energy of the 5. You also hold the energy of the 9. The 9 speaks about a situational circumstance has come to fruition. Why? Because you surrendered to the process. Again, we go back to the idea of the what? Spiritual life, which came in with the energy of the 6, according to the Loshu grid, which is Chinese numerology, darling dears. You also have, let's see, I spun it all the way. Listen, my hands are away. My hands are picking on you. You have the energy of the what? Double 2, which goes to a 4. It speaks about manifestation mode. You're building some kind of stable structure, a new beginning, darling. There's something which is stable. Okay, let's get the planetary energies around this. We're dealing with the energy of a 5. This is Mercury energy, darling dears. Mercury speaks about your intellect. It also speaks about quick movement, as well as what? Getting your badass alchemist ways on, darling dears. Manifestation mode. Mercury is coming through with the mind and the energy of the 3. The 3 represents you being a creative communicator at this moment in time, darling dears. This is something that there's something within you, darling dears, that needs to be expressed, whether it's an emotion, a creative pursuit, maybe even a business venture, or a career move, darling dears. You're having a change of heart. It's also a reminder for you to be more social, darling dears. We have Thoth here, who was the ruler of Egypt for about 16,000 years, darling dears. He was able to regenerate his body. He was the master of magic, the mind. All of this is coming into play, darling dears. And it's also a reminder that it's a brave new world. It's a reminder not to keep your mind in a fishbowl when what knowledge is like the ocean, darling dears, always coming in ebbs and flows. And if anyone around you tells you that they know everything, arch your back and run away like Tinky Winky and don't look back. Remember Lot's wife, Salt Bay. Why? Stupidness is contagious, darling dears. Law number 10 of the 48 laws of power. Avoid, avoid, and avoid. Stupidness spreads like wildfire. My mother always said it takes one fool to make many fools. And that I've come to realize is very true. Okay. We also have the energy of the 5, darling dears. Okay, so we're going to be this is going to have, it's going to fall on what? The 4th house. The 4th house is about your roots, darling dears. It's your ancestral, your ancestors. It's about your home, your security, darling dears. The 4th house is also about your upbringing, as well as your current family life, or if you have a family, your life at this moment in time. The 4th house is at the lowest part of the natal chart, darling dears. It represents things below the surface. It's also representative of your afterlife, darling dears, what goes on, because the 4th house also represents the end of life as well as the grave, darling dears. I bet you didn't know that. Okay, then we're also going to be touching on the 9th house. The 9th house is about exploration, darling dears. It's higher learning, travel. It's about your morals and ethics, darling dears. Somebody's also going to be publishing a book. It's also about online, something online, embracing different cultures, diverse ideas. This is what you've done to get where you are. This is why they are not like us, darling dears. You took the time to what? Learn yourself on every level. Some of you are still on that journey. Listen, no judgment here, darling dears, because it takes a while till you realize what? You need your flip-flops. What's that? Your common sense, darling dears, firmly on. Okay, the energy of the 5, darling dears, as I said, is Mercury. The 5 is representative of the numbers 5, 14, and 23, as well as the letters E, N, and W. Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo, representative of the letters E, H, N, X. This tells me that you are at this moment in time, where you are is exactly where you need to be. Where is that? An explorer, darling dears, a pioneer. You are a free spirit at this moment in time. Your luckiest days will be Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Your luckiest numbers 1, 5, and 7. The number 5 is also represented by a quincux. Yeah, I'm questioning myself now. Quincux, right? This is the line with the upside down V. It speaks about the situation or circumstance that you had to overcome was stressful, darling dears, but a change is coming towards you very quickly. Again, the evidence of the 1. This is magician, badassery kind of works, darling dears. It's about you having to have waited for some kind of bad phase to pass. It wasn't even waiting, darling dears, because as a big cat, you know, when you are in a situation or you feel as though you're stagnant, things are not moving, divine is trying to push you towards what? Knowledge, darling dears. Because knowledge is power. However, knowledge applied is the greatest power of all, darling dears. Never you ever waste that time when you're sitting in that in-between stage, darling, just to stare into space, right? Your skullduggerous mind will take you back down memory lane to wickedness, right? Things that you cannot change. And this is how you interrupt those ruminating thoughts, darling dears. What I started to tell myself at the ending of my healing journey, because it just takes one thought, then you're down that rabbit hole, and next thing you know, you can't even wash your own punani, and your progeny who wants 3 square meals a day, they become a problem, blood. Anyhow, what I did to interrupt those thoughts, I'd tell myself, as soon as one thought came up, I would tell myself, case, the judge and jury have left, the trial is over. I know it's going to take a while if you're repeating it, but eventually you will make a new pattern, a new paradigm, darling, just a new way of thinking. You have to be the interrupter of these conscious thoughts, darling. They're not coming from your subconscious mind. Because if they were coming from your subconscious mind, they would have cut off your blinking and breathing, blood. You'd be dodo dead. Anyhow, let's press on. As I was saying, the energy of the 5 also speaks about you having learned a major life lesson. This is what has created constructive freedom for you, darling dears. And again, travel and change is definitely on the cards for you, darling dears, in the not too distant future. It also speaks about this life lesson tapped into your resourcefulness, darling dears. You had to be strong when it wasn't you had no choice, darling dears. You did law number 22, right? Which is what? Transform your weaknesses. I'm not picking on you. I told you I'm a pointer. Let's press on. Let's press on. Let's get some messages around this. I'm going to go with the green. Because they ain't like us, darling dears. Because you have to remember, some people are sent into your life, born into your life, darling dears, to stop you on your path, to make you doubt yourself, to make you stay in inertia, possibly in the work hamster wheel, darling dears. Eat, sleep, and work. Eat, sleep, and work. They were sent to keep you stuck. But you had to realize that your mind, your thoughts were of a higher plane, a higher level. You had to learn to do the what? Mission impossible. Realize that you was the right package at the wrong address. Yeah. Friends and family always support the F shit, darling dears. They liked when you was down Bobby Brown. That's why what? That's right, bestie. They are not like us. Friends and family, good golly and God. They're what? Shepherds of the devil in most cases, darling dear. Some friends are befriending you just to what? Get you from the inside out. They're front stabbers, tabbers. They get no S. What else? Your ancestors ain't having that shiznai, darling dears. You are being protected even as we speak. Why? Because you have purpose, darling dears. Your purpose is what? As I told you with the energy of the 3, it's for you to express, to seek knowledge, express your emotions, pursue your creative pursuits, go after them, start that venture, change that career, whatever it is, darling dears. Yeah, because those that you have left behind, darling dears, the ones that are not like us, are shameless and bold. Let's get another deck. Energy again, the ancestors come with the energy of the 4, darling dears. Any planets in your 4th house will affect your home life, your emotions, your subconscious, and possibly your relationship with your parents. So always, I told you, your birth natal chart. You're going to learn astrology whether you like it or not. And you know what? Most of you are going to learn it on accident. Why? Because I love to repeat myself. Why? Because bestie, we've got to be on the same playing field. Pinkies up. I told you, I will help you get up there. I will give you the tools, but you have to choose to feed yourself. All right. Right? We've got the Death card, ending of a situation, darling dears. Death card also speaks about a change within yourself. Scorpio energy. Scorpio is represented by the 8th house. The 8th house of other people's money, joint finances. Is also known as what? The marriage house. It could also be representative of employment. Even though it's not the 10th house, which represents your career, it's still other people's money. Somebody's about to leave a level of employment. Maybe it's through promotion, retirement, and a new job, darling dears. we've got the solar plexus chakra, because you're feeling a lot more confident, a lot more aware of your strengths, darling dears. I told you, we already did what we had to do. Law number 22, transform our weaknesses into our strengths, darling dears. The energy of the solar plexus, darling dears. Lean in best. Somebody was suffering with some form of digestive issue. Once you get you start going along the path that you are here to follow, darling dears, you correct all of these bodily functions, these behaviors, because your body is your Geiger counter. When it starts effing up, darling dears, or going doolally, you know that that area is where you need to correct it. And it's not about getting more pharmaceuticals, because you're only treating the symptom. You have to learn to treat the issues. Sometimes you're suffering from depression, but it's the environment that you're in, darling dears. Sometimes you are still of the mind that you can't build this. Why? You've been amongst people who have always been takers, darling dears. Takers of the truth, takers of your time, your energy. Yes, yes, yes. And some of them even took some of your years which you can't get back. Because like R. Kelly told us, he would love to turn back the hands of time, but you can't. You cannot. He can't even do it. Death card with the solar plexus. It's a new you, darling dears. And again, Scorpio, the 8th house is a highly spiritual house. It's the house of karma and debt. Somebody's also ending a debt, a financial debt, darling dears, paying back other people their money. Do the right thing, darling dears. Anyway, we all know, if ever you're feeling lonely, stop paying your bills, blood. You'll get phone calls, you'll get letters, you'll get visits. They'll even help you remove anything that's cluttering your house, like your cooker, your bed, your pots and pans. Yes, yes, yes. All of this and that, bestie. Pinkies up. Okay, solar plexus in the right way. The solar plexus is represented by, lean in, bestie, the frequency of 528. Play at nighttime, darling dears. Okay, if you're having issues with sleeping at nighttime, you can go with the solar plexus, but on a whole, I like to move it through the chakras, the different frequencies, or I like to make a mix with the sound of rain, darling dears. You'll be asleep within minutes. It's so relaxing. Second house in reverse, so it's a money issue, darling dears. And it's also what? People that affected your, when you was around them, darling dears, your talents weren't appreciated. Somebody's leaving a government job, second house, darling dears. Anyway, your finances were affected, right? You were unable to meet your obligations. Your self-worth was on, it was on low. Yes, baby, all of this and that. And remember, the second house is juxtaposed to the 8th house, darling dears. So this is definitely about your finances and money that was affected. It also interrupted your spiritual journey, darling dears. Sacral chakra, but listen, as they say, one monkey don't stop a show. You're still moving forward. Sacral chakra energy is the frequency of 417. Yeah, you know who you are. The solar plexus speaks about you having this, you know when to act. You are moving instinctively at this moment in time. The sacral chakra is, again, pay attention to your feelings, because that's where you get the downward feeling. This is what happens to me in my sacral chakra area. You know the bottom of your tummy? Whenever something's not for me, I get a sinking feeling, and when it's for me, I can feel butterflies building up. Everybody's body is different, how it notifies you of certain things. Pay attention to your body, darling dears. Why? Because your body, your soul knows what's going to happen, and it's trying to avert it for you. Remember, your ancestors don't play with you, darling dears. They can only assist you when you ask for help, and they will continue to always give you messages, but you have to pay attention. Deaf to the old way of doing things, darling dears. We are going through what? Pluto in Aquarius for the next 19 years, darling dears. I've put out that comprehensive read. There is so many things that are going to be changing for us individually, as well as societal wise as well. There's so many tools, darling dears, for you to what? Make this new beginning. Go from what? Death to rebirth. But it's definitely the house of sex, as well as the sacral chakra. Somebody's going to be going into a situation, darling dears. You're going to be shameless and bold. Listen, no judgment here, but me personally, you can't just give up the what? The punani or the futum like just like that without the investigation. Don't you remember? You've only just barely got your hairline back. But I'm not a picker. I'm a pointer. 12th house energy speaks about the hidden enemies, darling dears. You've got a lot of hidden enemies. The energy of the 12th house is also, this house is really misunderstood, darling dears. This is about your subconscious mind, the hidden self that exists apart from your physical everyday life. Your subconscious memories, your subconscious patterns, patterns from the past, mental illness, karmic debts. It's also the house of self-deception as well as escapism. Okay. For others, this again, the 12th house is coming up again because the spiritual realization, the plateau that you've actually what climbed to, darling dear, spiritually. It's also the house of confinement, hospitals, prisons, and again, government offices. Again, somebody is going to be leaving a government job or changing their position within that job, darling dears. But you also have open enemies watching your every... Listen, they have to watch you. Why? Because you're fabulous, gorgeous, and lovely. Accept it, darling dears. 6th house in the reverse. They don't wish you well, darling dears. They want your health to go down, Bobby Brown. That 6th house is also about your employment, darling dears. And as I said, somebody is definitely leaving a job. Government job came up twice, but it's definitely leaving a position. But it's because of your spiritual guidance at this moment in time. Death card. 8th house energy, darling dears. This is a major life change for some, darling dears, but you're being guided because something is waiting for you on the other side, darling dears, of this new decision, this leap of faith that you're going to take after the next new moon in Gemini. Okay, let's see what the ancestors... How long have we been like this? 21 minutes? Good golly and gosh, couldn't you tell me to hurry up? All right. What's that? Godwindale Blunt, going and moving overseas, being established in a new info. Yes, baby. All of this and that. Keep it popping, keep it fresh, keep it moving, darling dears. You go on places like TripAdvisor to find out the area that you're going to because somebody's been in that area. Just do your research. Knowledge, darling dears. Knowledge is key. But don't be afraid to expand, darling dears, to do different things. How else are you going to learn? How else are you going to be in a position to teach? Somebody's gone through some kind of a sorrow, darling dear. Something to do with a tribulation. I'm getting the energy of a grief. Could it be a widowhood? A funeral that somebody's not gotten over, darling dears. I believe that the funeral was for somebody that was unalived, whether it was by their own hand or someone else's. Divine wants you to put it down now, darling dears. You have to put down the energy because, yes, it was unfair, the situation that happened, but you have to remember it's not your burden to carry. I'm not telling you that you can't grieve, but blaming yourself for someone else's life path, you can't do that unless you put them in that position. And if you didn't put them in that position, you have to put it down now, bestie. You still have work to do. You have a ways to go yet. Right? What did your ancestors think about them not being like us? Right? Yeah, they think it's fabulous, gorgeous, and lovely. Woo, child. The watchtower of the south, darling dears, is fire energy. This is a new passion. It's giving you a new lease of life. And it's all, they're also telling it, right? They're telling that you are about to what? Reap the benefits of your labor, the fruits of your labor going forward. The summer months are going to be what? Highlight of whatever it is that you've been working towards with this new spiritual life, this change. Remember, your Shangri-La is on its way. We have a sunflower for the durability of you, darling dears. But you're not going to be going for this second part of your journey alone. Someone whom you don't see is coming into your life. Okay. Ace of the deck, darling dears. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. High Priestess or priest energy, darling dears. The energy of the High Priestess also speaks about secrets. Certain things are, someone's going to keep a secret that is never going to be told, darling dears. It also speaks about someone keeping secrets on you because the mistress also represents what? Mistress energy. Okay. This mistress may have come into your hemisphere, your marriage house, house of marriage during the summer months, darling dears. This person, whomsoever this third party is, they're still watching you, paying close attention, darling dears. Okay. The energy of the High Priestess also speaks about this partner, someone who you are no longer in union with, or someone who you are leaving the union with, darling dears. They're extremely secretive. Why? They've got lots of irons in the fire, darling dears. They like to dig, deal, and mattress back, darling dears, and bring all those soul ties back to you. It's also a reminder to keep your own counsel. All answers come from within. You already know the answer to your situation, darling dears. Face up to the truth. You have to be the brave one and end it. It will not end until you choose. Why? Because they are shameless and bold, darling dears. You have to be the one to cut off your power grid. Base of the deck. It will bring true balance into your life. You have a foot in both worlds, darling dears. Remember, I told you that. Okay. Let's get some tarot on the tableau and see what else is going on. What else is afoot? Base of your deck. Betrayal, darling. This good gosh, the cards don't play. Betrayal, gossip, scandal, darling dears. It also speaks about the healing of your heart chakra. Three of Swords. In the upright, I might add. Lean in, bestie. Lean in. This is the heartbreak of possibly a loss of a situation, darling. There's a divorce, definitely a loss, darling. There's created a lot of depression, downpression in you. But your ancestors were already there. This is not strangers that did this to you, darling dears. People that you saw as family and friends. It was always a direct attack on your solar plexus, your confidence, your willpower, your drive, and your sacral chakra, darling dears. This is an attack on your, because the sacral chakra is also connected to your sexual energy, darling dears. This person, they made you feel less than, even on a subconscious level, darling dears. Because many people blame themselves when their partners cheat and can. You shouldn't blame yourself for that. You should leave. Leave. Don't look back. Arch your back. I told you, Tinky Winky. But I understand it's not always easy to get up and leave. But you get a plan, darling dears. You move in secrets and silence, darling dears. But the whole point is about movement. Let's give it a good shufti, because they have an issue with you, darling dears. They've got an issue with you. They, them, and 83 in the chat and 41 likes. Please hit the like button. Jumped right up again, darling dears. You've got something coming in. It also speaks about the determination that you've showed. I told you, you've been paying attention. Here you get the Death card. You have it on the intuitive deck as well as in for real, darling dears. Balance is coming into your life. You don't see it coming, darling dears, because the change had to come from within. And again, we go back to the frequencies of what? Balancing out the frequencies, darling dears. Okay. You also have someone coming into your life. Okay, we've got the Knight of Pentacles energy. This is somebody, yeah, they are presented as a knight, but this is somebody who's solid. Somebody, because Pentacles is it could be they're in teaching, communication, some kind of counseling, or maybe somebody is going towards counseling, darling dears, which is going to bring about this change, this necessary change that you need at this moment in time. Hey, Jeanette, MOH, big cat wave. Clarify the death and rebirth. Yeah. Best decision you ever made, darling dears. Turning your back on situations that no longer serve you. 8 of Pentacles. In the upright, I might add. He's also telling us, darling dears, that you have mastered some kind of craft. Yeah. Those of you going towards a different level of employment, lots of joy and fulfillment will come from it, darling dears. Why? More of your input will be in that situation. The energy of the 8 always comes with money, and money is facing this new beginning that you are creating for yourself. Both sides, darling dears, you are covered. Remember, I told you that. I see the buying of some form of property. 4 of Wands. Yeah. You're going to receive an invitation, darling dears. As I said, the energy of the 4 is communication. Whether it's by snail mail, text message, word of mouth of a flying monkey, don't accept that invitation, darling dears. You'll be amongst the wolves again. You've only just got that last blade out of your back chakra, darling dears. Common sense as well as what? Spiritual guidance got you on this road, this new beginning. Embodying what? The 12th house, darling dears, as well as the death. Realizing that these are enemies that you have to leave in your past. Go towards this new beginning. Run towards it. The fourth house also represents karma that you have to overcome in this lifetime as well. Not just your self node. Okay, clarify this Knight of Pentacles. Something that is slowly coming into your existence. Something or someone. As I said, it's someone. They're going to have a profound effect on your life. Gemini energy. You know, lots of communication, darling dears. You could also meet them while you are communicating. It could be communicating at work, communicating in life, random, spontaneous meeting. Page of Wands. Again, the spontaneity of the meeting, darling dears. Yeah, this is going to be a good news. This is somebody being sent into your situation, and it comes with the 10th cup. They come with a 10th cup. They're already emotionally aligned. Listen, they've got no demons on them, darling dears. Good golly and gosh. Still get their information and look at their birth natal chart. Look at the synastry chart. You can do it for friendship. You can do the chart between you and your progenies, darling dears, to see where their weaknesses are. You can see if they're a liar, a cheater, a beater, a stealer. Listen, it's all there. I keep telling you. We've got to be what? The red light, green light champion. As am I, of 79. Fist bump. Clarify this death and rebirth, this new beginning. This new beginning is justice. This is what? That constructive freedom that you cut off. Whatever you cut off in the past, because the justice is Libra energy, the 7th house. It created a constructive freedom for you, darling dears. It's also about karma, darling. There's things coming into balance. You're about to get what you truly deserve. If you have a legal situation, HR, I don't know, whatever situation, go into that situation with confidence. Again, justice is holding the sword. This is about you getting your evidences. This is about you taking a different approach. If somebody's looking for some kind of retirement, darling dears, make sure that you research. If it's medical retirement, make sure you do your research, darling dears. Make sure that when you come to this medical retirement, whether it's a hearing, an appeal, whatever it is, darling dears, make sure that you go there, learn it, because you're going to get what you want. 8 of Pentacles. Okay. This is justice coming towards you, darling dears. Justice. Yeah, but there's still a lot of gossip, darling dears, from the unhealed, the unwashed, they, them, and that are not like us. 7 of Wands, causing a lot of controversy. Many of them are comparing themselves, comparing their lives to the life that you have. And listen, it's coming up short, mate. Ace of the deck. We've got the what? 6 of Pentacles. And again, somebody's looking for some kind of help, some kind of issue with you, darling dears. Don't invest in that situation. Pass the energy. Leave it where it is. It will affect your mental health as well as your financial health. This is the union that you have coming towards you, whether it's a love match, Gemini energy, the Lover's card, or what? A true friendship, soul tribe, darling dears. Your Queen of Swords, King of Cups. It also speaks about you being emotionally mature. You are slow to speak and you are the wisest one in the room. It also speaks about the level of intellect you've received. And again, the Queen of Swords speaks about a divorced man or woman having left a situation. But you have a new what? Take on life, darling dears. You are realizing that any situation that will come to you in the future will be of your own making. So you're realizing frequencies, having changed your frequencies, taking the time to consider before you allow anyone or anything into your life, because you remember what happened to you before. We ain't got no time to be repeating these negative cycles. Too busy getting great, showing them that they are not like us. Conflict and confusion, darling dears. Somebody definitely talking about you, darling dears. You are living rent-free in many a mind. This goes to 10 of Swords, unable to release themselves from this. They're tied to you, darling dears. All they do is think about you. There's somebody wanting clarity in your situation. Well, they want clarity for, yeah, Swords, they want to communicate, they want to talk to you, but they're looking for some kind of clarity in your situation. What are they trying to see? High Priestess energy could also represent divination. Maybe they're getting readings on you. Maybe they are a reader. Somebody's trying to find this full-on shape, darling dears. They want to be skullduggerous in your life. Keep you what? Mentally trapped, darling dears. What they're living in, they want you to live amongst. Yet the Hierophant energy is here. This is the God card in Tarot. It's about you what? Taking wise counsel, wise spiritual counsel. And that best counsel always comes from within. This person comes to bring disappointment and stuckation into your life. Personal people, darling dears. Why? Because you've done nothing but make progress, darling dears. Granted, it may have been slow. Granted, it may not be at the pace that you wanted it to go. But you remember, Whenever you feel like you are stagnant in a situation that you are working hard on, divine wants you to learn more, know more, balance out your mental health, work at the pace which suits you to heal, to build your empire, to get to that learning, whatever it is. Pentacali could also represent something online. You needed time like fine wine to ferment. Never you forget that, bestie. They come to disappoint you, darling dears. It also speaks about being disappointed, darling dears, because they're unable to what? Come at you the way they did before. This is someone that has lost your love, loyalty in the upright. This is Cupid arrows. This is love in a situation with a platonic friendship, relationship. Yeah, this person feels like Folio, the head of the idiots, darling dears. They took a risk and a gamble in your life, and now you forever turned your shapely back. Law 16 of the 48 laws of power. So you've turned your back. They want to come back in, darling dears. They want to come back in. And this is new moon energy. Remember, I told you we have a new moon in Gemini. Expect some kind of contact from those that are what? The devil, the shepherd of the devil, darling dears. The devil's toenail. Expect contact around or on the new moon. The next new one, as I said, is in Gemini. Gemini is about communication. They're hoping that you'll be vulnerable. Easy pick. They look, oi, bestie, they want you to be easy pickings. Where's my shit? I can't even get to my shit quick enough. Now the reading has changed. This is a personal safety announcement. They want you to be easy pickings, blood. Oi. Listen. Hold on. Let me just remove this from the tableau, darling dears, and get a fresh deck. Okay. 2 7s on the tableau before I forget. They want to have, make it seem like light-hearted fun, darling dears. Not talking about anything in the past or how they're a front tabber, right? Or that they've been shady or that they've been gossiping. Merchants of slander, darling dears. Jeremiah 9, fuck it. All right. They want to come and they want to catch you in a weak moment. They see you as being single and independent, darling dears. 9 of Peace soon goes up to the Queen, then straight up to the Empress, darling dears. Remember, I told you that. Yeah, they see you they see you as being drama-free. They want to bring some drama to your doorstep, darling dears. They want to come with it. They're coming with the smoke, darling dears. They're coming. They, them, and that are not like us. Yeah, because they're coming from what? A destabilized foundation. This could be their job, their mental health, the relationships around them. Who can they run to? Listen, they better go and play the Jones Girls, darling dears. They can't run to you. Listen, this is a lack of security, darling dears. They come to bring burdens. When we see the 10 of Wands, darling dears, Wands is what? Spiritual burdens. They've got monkeys on their back, or should I say demons, darling dears. Where they look, good golly and gosh. Look what's in our eye chakras, darling dears. Destabilized, darling dears. This person or people chose many over you. Any personal business you had, they run, told that, darling dears, and put a spin on it. Yes. Painted you to be the what? They made it out like he was the person that cut the sandal of Jesus as he carried the cross to Calvary, darling dears. Yes, yes, yes. All of this and that, and yet they want to come back. They want you to be vulnerable, darling dears. They want you to what? Stop whatever opportunities, whatever groundwork, whatever you are being guided to, darling dears. They want you to stop back and turn around and help them. This person is like a child, or should I say like Chucky. Good golly and gosh, all of this just fell into my lap. 7 of Swords. And again, we see the mask wearing Marauder. Wherever they went, darling dears, it don't look good. Lots of arguments, fighting. Yeah, they would like a second chance with you, darling dears. One more round, Julie, with your hairline. Ooh, child. Listen, they've also got an issue, darling dears. A work issue. It could also speak about their genitalia not working properly. Why? When we see in the upright, this is solo dolo. When we see in reverse, juggling lots of different people, blood. They had something for everyone, the big and the small. Yeah. This person is definitely trying to work out a way to get back to you, darling dears, to upset and infect you with whatever they've got on them, darling dears. They are not like us. They haven't done any work. They've been reinfecting themselves with all these Jezebel spirits, and they're looking for a vacant orifice. Bestie, oi, do you have a vacant orifice? I bet you're not going to tell me. Hey, I bet you're not going to tell me. I told you. You forgot I got the whip? Oh, hell no. Vacant orifice. Tell me some more. They want to affect your solar. Listen. The cards are telling you that think clearly. This is your come to Jesus moment. This is your epiphany. It's never going to work. It's never going to work. Everything, all of the knowledge, all of the work you've done on yourself, even plans to move to a different place on the globe, darling dears, everything's going to be scuppered. You're the only one that's healed. They're still narcissists, darling dears. They're still gossiping and talking about you. They will still bring all of your biznai out there in the street, right? Don't be no one's fool. Not at this stage of the game. No. Take this leap of faith into this new direction, right? The King of Cups again, emotional maturity. Don't allow them to flatter you back into fucking knees, blood. They will give it to you without the Vaseline and they won't be sorry. Told you. Oh, child. This is the epitome of what? A Judas in a Peter suit, darling dears. You'll be crying into your fist before you know what's going on. They will get you isolated so they can get right in there, darling dears. And you'll be finished. It's over for you, darling dears. They're also watching you online. If in case you was wondering, you are being monitored by these these monitoring spirits. What's this that jumped over the back? They're looking at what you built for yourself, darling dears. The archway is the what? The portal, this new beginning, this newness that's coming towards you. But remember, don't make the major decision until after the next new moon. You'll know exactly. You came out with the energy of the high priest or priestess. Listen to your own self, darling dears. Meditate, whatever you do to meditate, whether you sit down quietly. I like to walk for like 1 or 2 hours at a time, darling dears. Whatever you do, make sure that you wait for this major decision, because the decision is going to change the trajectory of your finances, your home life, your security, the people that you have around you. Forewarned is forearmed. Right, let's get a final card, then we're off to get great. I don't know what's the matter with these people, with their personality disorders. They want to come and inflict their wickedness onto you again. What did I say? You have a major conclusion within reach. We have what? A full moon eclipse, darling dears. A full moon eclipse. This is sudden change. Remember, I told you that. Listen to your intuition, because your prosperity lies ahead. I cannot make it up. This is a new moon in Taurus. Taurus is the second house of money, darling dears. Your hidden talents. It's about your self-worth and your self-esteem. You've already built yourself up. This is about your earnings, darling dears. Material as well as non-material, things that can't be replaced. Divine is what? Filling up your cup, and it's about to what? Overflow. Remember, I told you that. Remember, sometimes people are sent, well, all of the time. Some are sent to take you off your path, and others are sent to put you back on the path. On that note, I drops me mic. Toddle over to my Teesprings, my Patreon, or my TikToks, where I also upload videos. And as I always say, don't get smoked. And don't smoke yourself. From the ashes, baby. Namaste. Big cat wave. Until we meet again. Cat, cat. Cat, cat. Make sure you got your back, front and side covered. And make sure you don't have a vacant or a fist bump. Until we meet again, bestie. Big cat